So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the platform that we use for hosting our content. There's various different platforms out there to choose from. They all do a very similar thing, but we experimented with quite a few and we settled on Vimeo. And I'm just going to talk about some of the considerations that we took into account when we chose our platform. So when it came to looking for a platform for us, we were trying to put an entire online course together. So the amount of videos that we had, it was really important we had really good organization. And this was something that for us, Vimeo was offering on that back end. So taking a look at our library here, we can basically have various folders for various courses that we were running, various modules within the courses. And inside there, we can have various folders and that goes deeper and deeper. So that kind of back-end organization, I would say that that's not necessarily something that you'd find on all platforms. Certainly things like YouTube, they don't have this kind of real back-end hosting. But that's not what necessarily YouTube is doing. Vimeo is trying to host videos for you to embed elsewhere on websites. That's something that it's done for years. So yeah, it's not really a surprise. In terms of hosting these videos, embedding is super simple. In terms of privacy, it's really important that we don't have a public facing channel. We want these videos to be available to our students only. So just taking a look at the video here, we can see here on the privacy tab, we can see that we have various options in terms of how people can see them. So we use private on your account, but embeddable anywhere. So that's really useful for us. It's not unlisted so that you can't see it anywhere, but it basically means that no one's going to find it unless we want them to. You can also make them public and you can also put them as password protected. So yeah, there's really various different privacy levels that you can choose from. So another really important thing for us was the reviewing kind of process. So we were creating a mass of content, lots and lots of videos that we wanted to make sure had all the information and that it was correct because it was education. So in terms of this review, it's a really nice way. We can basically use time-stamped comments on the video to basically feedback on mistakes or errors that we need to fix. So yeah, this review function is something that we used to use a company called Frame.io for, which is another website, great website for kind of video production reviewing. But yeah, Vimeo introduced this at a similar time as we were looking. So this really kind of appealed to us, this idea that we can use it as our platform for collaboration in our team. And I'd say that's a really nice thing in general about Vimeo, that kind of collaboration idea. You can see here that the DBS Online team, there's 10 kind of collaborators within that space, and I can manage those collaborators. I can allow different privileges and access to certain videos. So yeah, it's a really nice way of collaboratively working on a back end of a video production. I'd say one of the key things is around the kind of the size that these hosts can handle. So you can see down here that we've got a 7 terabyte allowance, which is pretty massive. Again, not all video providers are going to provide that, and certainly at different price points. So yeah, taking a look at the kind of allowance, the limit of the data that you might be able to upload is worth looking at, and how much that's going to cost you, and also thinking about the future in terms of where you might end up in terms of data. So alternatives then in terms of other providers, as we've said, YouTube is a really great option, obviously with a great reputation. I would say maybe the drawback is that kind of back end in terms of what we can see. Dailymotion, another great option, very similar to Vimeo in terms of its kind of model. Wistia is a really, really great option. I've used Wistia previously, and that's a kind of really good option for kind of collaboration, back-end commenting, that kind of thing. And then obviously your website provider. So whether you're using Squarespace or WordPress, you'd often find that if you just pay a little bit extra money, you'll get that little bit more hosting, depending on how many videos you need to post. But it might be that it would actually run smoother in that situation. I guess the hosting that we're looking at is more that kind of embedding, whether you're using a virtual learning environment and you need that kind of bulk upload and embed. So yeah, there's various options out there in terms of video hosting. Final thing that I want to touch on in this video is just the idea behind different formats. So looking at these providers of hosting, they'll often want you to upload in a particular format, whether that's MP4, MOV, MKV, whatever it is. So yeah, it's worth looking on their pages, their help pages. They'll often kind of state exactly what they expect in terms of resolution, in terms of codecs, in terms of formats. Generally speaking, MP4 is pretty common and MOV is pretty common. But yeah, in terms of compression, you will find that these different providers will work differently with different files. So it's worth uploading it in the best quality you can that your provider is expecting it to come as.